Hi there guys, it's Darren Stevenson back with another video. I'm doing my typical Wednesday video of when I do my tournament report from the weekend just gone, and it was the regional in Dublin, Ireland, where I finished 5th with this unique deck that's been cropping up very recently and has just recently showed its stuff at the YCS Sydney, where arguably probably should have won the event when it was unlucky that Jesse didn't win in the finals. And it's the Thunder Dragon Danger deck. So as you can see, this is my version. Let me just close Facebook. As you can see, this is my version. I just played more or less Jesse's, Bowden, Ryan's, and Furman's build. I could like the Strudo stuff because I never really resolved a Yazzie before, and I wasn't prepared to just enter an event not doing that because it's quite a lot you can do with that card, and like I feel like there would be like a lot of areas where I can just mess up randomly when I resolve a Yazzie, and I'd rather just not put myself at risk by making misplays. So I ended up cutting that package, and I wanted to play something close at the 40 cards as well. But like I explain all that in like my deck profile, so if you haven't already watched my deck profile, go ahead and check it out, and I explain the ratios and stuff like that. But in this video I'm going to focus more on my matchups and how like it went down and what my records were. So round 1 of the event, I ended up playing against my CCG teammate Raphael Nevin. He's playing the Rongo deck. I win the dice roll and I end up winning the match 2-0. So game 1 I start and I do the typical Curious Snow Colossus Titan play. He's making a really big push, ends up taking like the majority of the match because he has to try and like out my entire board, but he couldn't really kill me. But because I had Snow as like a flat follow-up, I just used Snow just to OTK him, because obviously he's paid a lot of life with like Instant Fusion, Distributor and stuff. I could just OTK him. And then when he tried to do the Rongo combo, I drew Gamma, so I Gamma as his old and I ended up winning the match. Round 2, I play against the Mirror. I play against my friend Jacob Harbour that got revenge on me. So after I absolutely wrecked him because he bricked at Chesterfield, I played him round 2, and we ended up getting into a really grindy game 1 that lasted like half an hour. And like I think the game was won when he ashed my Curious when I went first, when I won the roll. And at that point I just couldn't get to a Snow, and he had access to Snow because he Brilliant Fusion sent the Snow. And if I had access to Snow at any point in the game, I think I would have won because my resources were much higher in my graveyard, so I could have resolved a bunch of effects and then just like generated like loads of advantage. But unfortunately that wasn't the case, and I just did end up losing because he ended up like grinding me out. And then game 2 I ended up making him start because if I start I didn't have enough time for me to do a board, him play, and then me to do damage, so I had to just go second and try and deal damage. So the best I could get was a draw the amount of time I had, but I couldn't deal any damage. I couldn't push through his Titan, which is a bit frustrating. Might have had a hand trap too, I can't remember. I think he did. So yeah, I ended up just losing that match 0-2. Round 3 I play against Zombies. That was a bit wild. So I lose the roll and he goes first, and he does some wacky like Griffin combo with that double zombie thing with Zombie World. But since the Griffin's actually negating his own zombies, so all I had to do was pop Zombie World with a Phoenix that he was pointing to, and then I ended up just like getting rid of his Griffin with the Unicorn, and then I just popped his board and OTK'd him. And then game 2 he went for something similar but without the Griffin. He just ended up on the 2 zombies, and again I just ended up just baiting them, popped the Zombie World, so it meant he couldn't negate with that zombie card, whatever it was, and I ended up just OTKing him as well. Round 4 I played against the Rongo Goki deck. I lose the roll. I think I lose the roll and he does the full combo and I lose. Yes, that is why I'm getting confused because I played Rongo Goki round 5, and that's the one I was thinking of, so I was just really confused. But yeah, so I played Rongo Goki round 4, and I remember now. So he had combo, and I just scooped just to save time because there was just no point. Game 2, it ended up quite grindy, but I ended up digging for a Lancia with yugioh, and it meant that I ended up just winning from that Lancia. And with his Snow dumped in grave because I could grind and I floodgated him in his turn. And then when he went for his push, he activated Midbreaker Field. It was a bit scary, but I had a Gamma, so he normal summoned Connector, and I just thought, well, I've got a Gamma here and hope he doesn't have an extender. So I Gammaed him, and then he just went, that's unfortunate, pass, and then I OTK'd him. So round 5 was another Rongogoki play, and this is what I was getting confused at in my head, because I was thinking, I'm pretty sure I won the roll for this one, but yeah, I won the roll, and I start, and I end on the typical Curious Snow stuff, Titan Colossus. I make a misplay, so he instant fusions the Rajin, and I summon Snow to book it so he can't play, but I just didn't, for some reason, banish the Curious that I had in the field. So I just forgot that it was giving him a zone, whereas if I banished the Curious, he would have just had to pass. But then he could make a push, and it was just really stupid of me. But he didn't have enough, I guess, to push through my board enough to kill me. So then in my following turn, I just killed him. Like, honestly, like, Snow's nuts. If they don't OTK you, then your follow-up is just insane, because Snow's just ridiculous, and it generates just a massive card advantage. And then game 2, he starts, and I Lancia him, and he actually forgets that he has Call by the Grave. So you can't end on a particularly impressive combo because he let the Lancia resolve accidentally. And then I just OTK him. And then round 6, I play against that Luna-like Spieler that I hope you've looked into. That deck profile is insane. Be sure you go check it out. I'll play against Vlad's Luna-like deck, which was actually really scary. I thought I was going to lose, and I probably should have lost. But time was in my side, so I ended up winning. Game 1, I go first, and again, Curious Snow, Titan Colossus. Like, this deck is so ridiculously consistent, it does that every time. And he goes Shadow Fusion and summons the Winder, but I just end up floodgating him under his own Winder. I think he said he shouldn't have activated Shadow Fusion, but I think he just got, like, you know, I think he just saw Shadow Fusion and thought, oh, well, this card's fucked, and just activated it, and then thought he would have generated mass advantage, blah, blah, blah. But the issue was, like, since he summoned the Winder, I summoned a Snow after he normal summoned the Chick, and I booked the Chick, so it meant that he only had one special summon. So he ended up special and summoning back a guy, but it meant he couldn't really do anything because he was stuck under his own Winder, because I just didn't get rid of the Winder. And then in my turn, I ended up just booking his Winder so I could special summon, and then I OTK'd him. Game 2, he does that mental Azafoth combo, which will be on my channel tomorrow, the combo video, so be sure to check that out. It's absolutely insane. It also it's the same 2-card combo for the OTK as well, so yeah, just be sure to check that out. And then game 3, I end up making him start because I know his deck, so I knew what his side patterns were. So he was siding into that going first stuff, so I wanted to like wreck his side patterns and make him start, so he wouldn't have had like the combo to floodgate me. He could have next leveled me for all I knew, but it was getting close to time anyway, and I really wanted to go second and have a battle phase so I could like apply pressure so that he couldn't kill me, and it was really close to time. So I make him start, and he just goes set 1 pass because obviously his side patterns are all fucked because I made him start. And then I ended up dealing like 3-4 to him. I couldn't OTK him because my hand wasn't particularly impressive either. And then he tries to like play through my board, and I end up stopping him with like Snow and other things that I had, and he just couldn't deal enough damage through my Snow, which he said was quite frustrating, because I think he said he could have OTK'd me if he had the time, because I imagine he was under pressure to try and like think of enough time, because obviously I don't think he had enough time to really think it through properly to actually OTK me. And I think if he had more time as well, I think he might have won the grind game, because like I say, I didn't all believe particularly impressive. I just was fortunate enough to have to deal the first damage and protect myself with Snow. So I was his only loss in Swiss. And then round 7, I play against Prank Kids, and I'm on the bubble, and I'm like, I'm X1 and I'm playing against Prank Kids, and I'm just like, Prank Kids is like an awful matchup for Fun Dragons, but luckily I know what it does. Game 1, I think I win the roll. I win the roll, and I'm setting up obviously Snow Colossus Titan. And then thankfully I just recognize that like if they go instant fusion normal summon, then if you Titan pop the kid that they normal, the ceiling's not as high, and that was the case. So he couldn't really do much after I did that, but he ended on like something quite threatening. So the game did go on for quite some time, but then I ended up OTKing him eventually. Game 2 is really grindy because he starts and he bricks and he sets pass, I also brick. I can only end on Colossus Pass, so I'm swinging. But then he starts like setting a monster and defending himself, and I just can't deal any damage, and he's just blocking it with the kids. And then he ends up like being able to fuse the kids in my turn, so he's summoning more guys so he can generate more advantage. And then he ended up just like Borrowlord OTKing me. I said in the last video that I was gonna include the cost breakdown in this video as well, because like those videos don't really like those videos don't really hit the 10-minute mark. Just like I'd rather just have that extra day's space just for different content. So and I still want to do it because like it's informative and it's like quite interesting just for me to keep track of that as well. So let's just do it here. So the cost of the flights for Dublin were like 33 quid, and the total before this week was £851.73. So in total I've spent £884.73 on the World's Race, which again, like I said last week, I'm really like surprised I have not spent over £1,000 yet, especially since it's like 2019 already. We're halfway through the season. And also this was a 93 player event which generated 12 points. And since I finished 5th, that meant I had 8 points. So before this event, I had 123 points. So I've gained 8, and now I have 131 points. So yeah, that's cool. Very happy with my performance at the event, especially with a deck that I'm not too familiar with. And I'm hoping that I'm gonna like get time to play test with it more before Leeds regionals, so I can just get more familiar with it and hopefully like win the entire event. What do you guys think of the deck? Do you think this version of the deck is better, or do you think like playing like Yazzie and Destrudo just makes this deck like the best deck like by a mile? Like I think I'm gonna try like Yazzie and Destrudo and stuff because I really do feel like those cards are amazing. But do you think you prefer a 40 card version? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and like my Twitch as well. See you guys later.